Alright, I took a couple hours of a break. So, for people that are suddenly seeing this uploaded literally the day after I said that I was gonna do this next week, yeah, you're seeing this correctly. This ain't an early upload. 3 episodes in a fucking row. Let's finish this. February 10th, 3:36 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. I have recovered a little bit. My throat's doing a little bit better, so I should be good. And apparently, we have to bring in Maya for questioning. Oh, shit. Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the test we had performed earlier. On the knife? Tests? Yes, tests on the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree. Oh, yeah, oh god, I totally forgot about that.
That's the weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought with the victim.
So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or...?
Due to time constraints, a full test wasn't possible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood.
Oh.
That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial.
So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. Then... Maya? Then whose was it? The blood doesn't match the victim's.
I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims.
I understand, Your Honor.
From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking. So let's finish this quickly.
Agreed. See, now I'm literally concerned, because I really don't want to... Like... See, I'm really concerned, like, if she's really weak, I'm afraid, like, she's going to be... If I try pressing her, she's going to get upset or sick. Or I'm legitimately more concerned about her own health right now. Okay. I'll make a backup save just in case my pressing gets me in trouble. Fuck it. I'll just do it right now.
Very well. Please bring in the last witness.
Hey.
Witness, please tell us your name and profession.
Maya Fey. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Wright & Co. Law Offices.
Aren't you a spirit Maya.
According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the Korean channeling technique.
I'm frightened. The Fey clan. I don't want any more to do with it.
Oh, Maya. The pain the Fey bloodline causes must be unbearable.
Very well. Now then, Miss Fey. When the event occurred, you were in the garden of the inner temple. And you witnessed the moment of Miss Elise Dunham's murder. Is this correct?
I didn't see...
Straighten up this instant, young lady.
Huh?
Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later.
But
Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes! There's nothing you could do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come out, and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen?
Witness, if you please.
Yes, Your Honor.
God, this is This is just gonna fucking hurt.
I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" Then, something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness.
Something warm splashed over you? So, you were struck on the head. I suppose it must have been this staff. Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was.
Maya, think hard.
I'm sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't.
Ha! Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone.
It seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination.
Maya, hang in there. She doesn't look well at all. See, that's why I'm legitimately scared about doing this cross-examination. Okay. Alright, we're gonna take this one step at a time. Who else was on the Inner Temple side that night?
Well, Sister Bikini, of course. But I remember her saying that Iris would be coming later as well.
On the day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal. So then, did Iris actually come later like she said?
Well, let me think.
She seems confused. It's probably because she's so tired.
No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come while I was preparing for the training.
Who did it? Who hit you? I'll punch him! I'll kill him!
Wait, what? Well, I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind.
You were hit from behind. You didn't see the person? But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was?
Oh. Let me think for a sec. I'm sorry. I just can't remember.
Maya is really having a hard time. What should I do? Okay, here's where I'm gonna say, fuck it. I'm sorry. I know most people would try to press her. I'm sorry. I can't. Considering the conditions at the crime scene, it's not surprising she didn't see her attacker.
Ha! So it looks like even you've got some compassion.
Well, yeah, she's Maya.
Judging by the testimony thus far, the identity of the attacker was most likely
The spirit that was channeled by Elise Dunham, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Very well. Please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head?
What happened afterwards?
My attacker was in front of me, blocking off my escape. I think.
You think?
After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. There were only two things rolling around in my mind at the time.
Well now, this is beginning to get interesting.
So, what were the two things rolling around in your mind?
My name is Maya Fey. 1 + 1 = 2.
Fair enough. Yes.
You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was going to lose my memory. I know it's odd considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was.
Hey, don't. It's fine. It's fine. It's, believe it or not, it's something that I can actually I can sort of get it. I think I can kind of get it.
That's not odd at all. Your actions are understandable, given the circumstances. So, what did you do then?
You think you screamed, but you're not sure.
Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits.
Believe me, my dear, I am certain I would have soiled my robes.
I thought this person might... What? You know what, never mind. I'm way too woozy for this. I thought this person might attack me, so I... Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that it was my last hope.
Your last hope? Wow. It sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. But I wonder what she meant by last hope. What do I do? Do I press it for more? Actually, yeah. What do you mean by your last hope? Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff?
What? What do you mean by your last hope?
No. That's what you said. You said my last hope.
Huh? What? I said what?
Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me."
Yeah?
But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope.
Oh, well, you know, it's like, what do you call it when that happens?
Maya's not doing so well up there.
Oh, yeah, Oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at.
What? Wait, was there somebody else there? What did you just say?
Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's who I was screaming at for help. Ah!
What is it now?
Oh, I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out.
Wait, there was somebody behind the attacker? Huh? Witness! Are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? So there was a third person there. Behind the attacker, there was another person?
I meant to keep that part a secret. Oh, what have I done?
Ha!
It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say.
A ton of pressure?
You're in a court of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber.
You can't make... But Maya isn't the type to lie. Well, not really, but...
Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony.
I can see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern.
But, okay, two things here. One, how do you know it's a man? Two, the stone lantern had no light. Like, hold on a minute. Where is it? Right here. It was not lit on the night of the crime. Its wick is very, very old, so of course it couldn't fucking work. So, How the fuck? Unless the man in question had some sort of light on him. But who? Hold it! A man? Who was this man?
Well, you see, I couldn't see.
You couldn't see? She's used this excuse twice now.
Well, you know, lantern light isn't very bright.
Lantern light, did you say?
There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. They always light it when an acolyte is there for training. Hey! You know what they say, under the lantern, darkness reigns. So I could see the person that was further away, but not my attacker who was closer. Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time.
Okay, I know exactly what to do here, but I'm gonna keep pressing. You don't mean, was it?
I didn't know it at the time, but I think it was probably blood.
Are you Is she saying that's when Miss Dunham, who is channeling Dahlia, was stabbed in the back by the killer?
At that moment, I was paralyzed with fear.
Oh. This mysterious third person might actually be the real killer. Which raises a question. Who is... Hold on a minute. Let's see. Who's this man? It would be fucking stupid if it was Gumshoe. And we can't suddenly have a brand new character suddenly just show up out of fucking nowhere. We know it's not Edgeworth. It can't be Dahlia who stabbed. It can't be...
I saw a man who looked like Morgan!
Sorry. So... Let me test this out a little bit here. My line of thinking has shifted slightly with just this sudden information that we've gotten from Maya. So...
At that moment, I was paralyzed with fear. I was just sitting there in the snow. I'm sure blood got on everything around me.
And the funny thing is, if this really was Godot's doing, he has a murder motive. And he has a reason as to why he would try to save Maya, the sister of the woman he loved, as some sort of his own way of trying to protect Maya. Actually, come to think of it, potentially, what if Godot and... Okay, maybe not Mia, but... Actually, well... But how would Godot get over there in the first place? There's the real question. Hold it! So, what happened next?
I don't remember.
How are you saved? You don't even remember that.
No. I haven't got any idea. I really don't know what happened at all.
That's too bad.
I've worked side by side with Maya for 2 years now. I can tell when she's trying to hide something by how she acts. And right now, I'm absolutely certain she's hiding something. I already know what to do here. Let's see. Seems to help. See a man behind the attack by the light of the stone lamp. That's a lie. Because this thing can't be lit. Objection! So there was a man standing behind your attacker.
Yeah?
That man. He's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Dunham. Otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother.
The killer?
Maya. You know who killed your mother, don't you? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? To be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony.
Huh? What do you mean? What problem?
Maya, on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission.
Huh? What?
It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night. Order! Order on the court! Mr. Godot, explain this!
Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That is the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of café au lait.
Café au lait? Is that even legal? I don't know what the hell your mind was on, Judge.
Mr. Tright's words are the milk, and you're the spoon, Your Honor.
I'm a spoon? I'm no spoony bard, I'll have you know. Frickin' my name is not Teller. Wait, is my name Teller? No, no, that's right. I'm not Edward. Wait, hold on.
What the fuck is going on? What game am I in again? Did Meteor send me to a different dimension?
You must have noticed it too, Trite. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that.
Sorry, but that's not going to cut it.
What did you say?
If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony.
Nick?
May I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker, and she quite clearly described him as a man. In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker.
No!
Order! Order! What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch black conditions?
Objection! Trite, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source of the scene.
Objection! There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now, you're trying to cover for him. Cover? For the man that killed her mother? There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is.
Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you.
Ha! You talk a good game, Trite, but let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff!
No, Nick, don't! Please, stop!
Maya is dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth. All right, Mr. Wright. Time to show us what you've got. Who was this person that you say Miss Faye saw in the darkness? There's literally only one person. There is only one possible person who could have been there. As I say as I slam my cup of tea, there's really only one person. It has to be you. Take that! Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes? What? But how do you propose to show us something like that? Cut the power, Judge. What? Oh, okay, I have a switch underneath my desk. Give me a second. Well, it's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night. Conditions? Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off. What? This is... But it can't be. Huh. Yep. Fucking knew it.
That was a nice bit of deduction. Trite.
Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder. I have a sick feeling Maya's not gonna like me for what I'm doing here. Order! 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 Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? Ha!
Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person.
What do you mean by that?
If you've got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night, was it 3 glowing red lights?
Well, witness, answer the question.
You're wrong! I never saw that!
Maya!
I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man, but for a totally different reason.
What?
Witness, where is right?
Stop your chattering, Your Honor.
Chattering?
If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
All right. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man.
Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but
Okay, let's hear it.
when I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit and the body was gone. And all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man.
Maya. So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor,
No need to apologize. It is as Mr. Godot said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Oh dear.
So, you lost consciousness when you were in the garden. Is that right?
yes, I think it happened when the victim was stabbed.
So then the person that carried you into the inner temple,
It could only have been the killer.
That's what I think too.
so the killer carried Maya into the inner temple. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
I don't know.
It looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again. The torches were lit.
Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed.
I'm gonna say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be?
The killer probably lit them since it'd be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body?
That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya.
Very well, let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene.
So, you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? It did look really odd. No, for real, it was like really fucking odd. The snow was removed in an unnatural looking rectangular shape around the lantern.
There are a lot of shovels around the inner temple, but they're all really heavy. Way too heavy for me to use.
An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow anyway?
Well, there's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow?
Yeah? The area I collapsed ended up being splattered.
In other words, all they did to cover it up. The killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation.
Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount.
That's true. He could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood.
It looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue.
But I think this will help explain them.
So, you're saying that you never saw the killer, right?
Yes?
But earlier, you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker.
Nick, I'm sorry.
The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble. Moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. But for what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on. Okay, so I was told to come back. Let's see, is it this one? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was a statement that we have to get more information from. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something.
You did?
Yes. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me. For my sake.
What? Hiding it for you?
Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden,
She may have thought that you had done it.
No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened?
yes, I'm sure of it.
Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened.
They did it for your sake. Again, there's... No, wait, that can't be right. No, they can't do that. If they were gonna do it for your sake, why would they write down your name Maya on the stone on the lantern?
Well, if the body and the blood hadn't been removed, I would have immediately been the prime suspect, right?
Yes, I suppose that's true.
Yeah, and if that happened, the body would have caused some other problems too. If her real identity had come out right then, it would have been terrible. Master of Karain killed by own daughter. I don't think Maya would have been able to handle it.
But still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motives. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you?
I'm sorry, Maya, but... Objection! If they were trying to protect you, why would Maya be written on the stone thing? Lantern. The body of Elise Dunham was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all of this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd.
Oh? And what would that be?
You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Also, you couldn't see it. But wait a minute, that makes no sense. How would you not be able to see the snow on the... Wait. If... Of course, because he wouldn't be able to see it because... Yeah. He stated earlier he couldn't fucking see it. He thought it was sparkling clean. Maya. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern? Ah, you're right! Because he couldn't see it. Thus, still leaning toward Godot.
Order, but Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene?
Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow. Then, not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing.
Objection! But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior?
Yes, I do.
Why would this killer move the body and remove all of that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern?
I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it.
Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern?
The killer didn't notice it. Prosecutor Godot, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought.
The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it.
But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that.
Oh, you're right. There's no way any normal person would.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? Are you calling me weird?
There's only one person involved in this incident. Who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether?
And who would that be? Who is the person that could have failed to notice the bloody writing?
Professor Godot. Prosecutor Godot.
Take that!
Mr. Godot, this is what you said yesterday.
My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
You can't see everything. Is that correct, Mr. Godot?
This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented.
This lantern, there's something written on it. Why, it's written in blood.
Huh! Nonsense! This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle!
Yep. Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Tribulations.
This is the apron the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time, and somehow spilled coffee on it.
Oh my god! Holy shit! How did I not clue that in? Oh!
There's something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court?
Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be?
Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron.
That's ridiculous! No one told me anything about a bloodstain!
You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red.
Ha! It's strange. In the black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them?
So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern?
Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea!
I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot was the murderer. But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. All right. Mr. Godot, The defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Miss Elise Dunham, also known as Miss Misty Fey.
It's hard to believe this may be true. However, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you.
Ha!
Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. Come on. How does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there.
I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red.
This is rich. Do go on, try it.
The answer is right there at the crime scene. All of the snow that he scooped up. In the snow.
The snow? How so?
Well, for example, why'd the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take just that area?
Well, yes, why didn't he take just that area?
Could it be?
Yep.
Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow. And so, he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area.
Objection! Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark?
No, even in the dark, I can still see some colors in something as purely white as the snow. Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine. Well, that too.
It seems that once again this trial is taking an unexpected turn, to say the least. You know, I really shouldn't be shocked by this at this point. Oh, good lord. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot?
Is that Maya? Yep.
Wait just a minute.
Maya?
What is it, witness?
Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the Inner Temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up.
Objection! Maya. You can't testify to something like that.
Why? What do you mean? I mean, I look it, but I...
After the murder happened, you didn't even exist.
She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow. She was possessed.
Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, that's right. I apologize.
Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me.
Maya.
Do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her.
Ha! Nicely done, Trite.
Very well. Let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the Inner Temple after the murder.
Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling, and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearly was there at the Inner Temple, too. Pearly was also stuck on the Inner Temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around, but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the Inner Temple for the first time. He found Pearly first and cheered her right up.
Who is this Pearly?
Oh, it's my little cousin, Pearl Fay.
Oh, so when did you hear about this?
Oh, just a while ago, when I was in the medical office.
I'm terribly sorry, but what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony.
What? Come on! Pearly would never tell a lie. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be.
You
Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath. I wouldn't have her any other way.
The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness.
Mr. Godot.
Let us move on to the cross-examination, if the defense has no objections.
Okay, this is highly unusual, but... well, Mr. Wright...
Let's get this cross-examination started.
Oh, you're good for that. I'm fucking... okay.
So, where did you think Pearl slept that night?
In the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte's training.
But even so, why did she go to the inner temple in the first place?
It seems that Pearl became very worried about Maya.
She knew that the spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense.
Pearl was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the inner temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elise Dunham. She searched the entire inner temple side, end to end.
Well, you see, Pearl gets pretty scared when she's alone. And there weren't that many places to look. She says that she even went back and forth several times.
The inner temple side has two structures, the training hall and a spare prep room.
And there's also a storage shack, I think. Oh, that's about it.
There was a storage shack, too. Pearls is looking for other people, right? Would she have really examined the storage shack all that carefully?
Well, if it was me, that would be the first place I would investigate.
So that means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in the storage shack.
Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge?
What do you mean?
I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it was me, I'd at least go out and wait at the foot of the bridge.
Oh, well, Pearlie said that she was sleeping at the time. She said she was so scared during the night that she couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times.
Oh, that poor little girl, all alone like that.
Well, we know that she had at least one friend in the sacred cavern. Dahlia Hawthorne, who was busy battling with the trick lock.
She couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls.
What happened after the bridge was finally fixed?
So, it was your first time on the inner temple side, Mr. Godot.
Well, that's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the defense ask me a question?
Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness.
What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor.
Oh, touche, Mr. Wright. You know what? I was testing you. I'm proud of you, man. Oh well. What do you have to say, Mr. Godot?
Hot nights and even hotter coffee. That's what I always say. If I hadn't had been for this case, I never would have visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains. I think I'll pass.
So he had never visited Hazakura Temple or the Inner Temple, huh?
Ha! You want to say something, Trite?
In any case, I have to find a crack in Godot's armor. While I cross-examine Maya, that is.
Very well, please go on with your testimony. After fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the inner temple side, right?
Yes, then Mr. Godot.
He cheered her up?
Well, that's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot.
Well, and here I was thinking you're nothing more than a coffee addict.
Ha! Cut it out. You're making me blush. This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves, in more ways than one. The truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the inner temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-toothed combs. So, I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way, Godot style.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way, judge style. I decree this burger delicious. You're guilty of being a good cook.
Maybe I should ask some questions, Phoenix style. I'm kind of curious to see how he cheered Pearls up, but first things first. You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything?
It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, Trot. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern.
Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles.
The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall.
Beauty?
Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
Western tastes? Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy?
So from there you headed for the prep room.
Wait a sec, what did Godot just say just now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. The way that he was describing the inner training hall? Wait a minute. That visor, unless his visor lets him see through shit, there's no way that he could have been able to see. No, there's no fucking way he would have been able to see Misty Faye on the scroll. Because if the timing lines up, he would have had to have been there before the murder occurred. Because after the murder had occurred, that's when the gravy was on the hanging wall scroll thing. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the Inner Temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Delise Dunham. Right there. That is a bit of a lie. So... yeah. Wait a minute. Is it this one? Or... not probably first shooter up. I think I almost made a mistake. No, this is the one that I have to counter. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the Inner Temple for the first time. That right there is a lie. Objection! Right there. There's the contradiction. Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the Inner Temple was long before the murder took place.
Why do you say that?
Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall. Hanging scroll?
But, Mr. Godot is right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother.
Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this.
What's that wonderfully delicious smell?
The morning after the delicious. It's been a couple of days, my dude. The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy.
Gravy? But why gravy, Nick?
Well, because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye.
Wait a minute, Nick.
Yes?
Let's take another look at the hanging scroll. Look, at the top, there's a crest there.
Ah, that. It's the mark of the master, correct?
Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark,
Then you could guess that it was a picture of Misty Faye on there. No? True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
oh,
Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the Inner Temple long before the crime took place. God damn.
Can I ask you just one little thing, Trite?
What is it?
This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed.
That's right.
And of course, my knowledge is kicking in. Here's how you could know before anything was going to happen.
Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene.
Of course, Mr. Godot knew about the plan.
Huh?
What did you say? Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan? Yeah, right here. This right here is the proof that you need to kind of show that... You know what, fuck it. Take a look! This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authored the plan for her daughter's future. And these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed.
Unsealed?
Yes. The killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple.
And you still insist that this crafty killer is me?
You bet I do.
But you just said that the instructions were hidden.
That's right. Mr. Godot couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden.
Oh dear. If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out.
Yes, and when was that?
During a visit.
A visit?
Morgan Fay told her daughter Pearl about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center? Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot. Order! Order! Order, you dumbasses! Mr. Godot, you're under fire again! This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder! Oh, I'm getting lightheaded. Woo! Let's do it!
Humans are afraid of the dark. And yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee.
Okay, I'm really sorry for always asking, but what does that mean?
It means that there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness?
That's right.
If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this?
For the woman you love. Mia.
This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go to that kind of trouble to protect her.
No, you do.
I am what you see. I am certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress.
The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural.
Objection! No, it's not. However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs.
I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick?
Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason, huh?
Okay, Trite, I'm all ears. Let's hear it.
It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you.
What is this?
Yeah, prepare to have your fucking mind blown. There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably. Mia! There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister.
Mia Fey.
You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney.
Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney?
With your honors-piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right?
The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago.
Diego Armando. That name rings a bell.
It should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. One of the most traumatic fucking things I've ever witnessed in this series. Don't get me wrong. Mia's death was fucking tragic. Don't get me wrong on that. But this third game, where it's been built up, all of the relationships, all of these characters that I have grown to know and love, and then we see Mia Fey's first court case. Something that not only traumatized Mia, but I imagine it also traumatized Edgeworth deeply as well. To witness something that horrifying. It was a direction that I was not prepared for, but by God, this fucking game, this series, did such a goddamn good job because of how horrifying it is, as well as the implications and how everything fucking connects. Mia Fey's first time in court. The tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself.
Mia, you can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she put all of her faith in her client. That pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why. I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria.
I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courtroom, you were poisoned.
Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee.
Some newspapers at the time called it a murder, but very little information about the case was released to the press.
But you weren't dead at all!
No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma.
That explains how you survived, but my god, man. I see.
My body shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused.
I'm not sure that's how it works, but we'll roll with it.
It's terrible.
Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained my consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poisoned brew. Then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee.
For 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years.
And the worst possible news was waiting for me.
Your beloved was dead.
Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I'd already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered. And the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death.
The woman you loathed?
The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne! Huh. Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up.
That's so sad.
For someone like me, for someone who had slipped away their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor.
If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live?
The first was you, Trite.
Huh? Me?
If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey never would have died. Much less the way she did. You were the only one who was there to protect her! But you let her die. It was all your fault.
It wasn't like that!
I wanted to see for myself what kind of a man you really were.
So that's why you became a prosecutor?
My other reason for living. She goes by the name of Maya Fey.
Huh? You mean me?
You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago when the Karain village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her.
So you kept your eyes on her. That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center.
I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it.
That makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out. She loves Maya way too much.
Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices.
Accomplices?
Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Fey. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Fey.
But, how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years.
Officially, yes.
Was she in witness protection? So wait, were you protecting her too?
What? What do you mean officially?
He must have had knowledge about it.
You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government.
Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master of Karain had great authority.
Even without her official position, Misty Fey still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor.
my mother was cooperating with you?
Don't ever forget. No matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you.
This is making me tear up, goddammit.
She was always...
That's why. I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff.
Her staff? The one with the sword in it?
The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then. Just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fay if necessary. Yes! Even if it meant paying the ultimate price!
Mother...
That night. The night of the crime. There was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan.
You mean pearls, don't you?
We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne.
Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight?
Well,
If you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we could read some books together.
Jeez. We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan. But she never showed up.
she was worried and followed me to the inner temple.
That was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why. Misty Fay had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body.
What? What do you mean? If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. They were doing it to protect her.
As Master of Karain, Misty Fay's power was supreme. So that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Fay wouldn't be able to!
Is this true?
My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Fay. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple. Just in case you needed to be safe from Dahlia Hawthorne.
Godot.
Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to, try it.
Huh?
There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself.
The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There is one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim?
Well, I mean, here we go.
There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Fay, and I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot.
Well, try it. If you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own!
No, Nick, please, don't!
Maya.
I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia, and me too.
Maya, I know that!
Nick,
But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime! Please, Maya, testify!
Miss Fay, your testimony, please.
This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips.
I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick.
All right, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder? Here we go.
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness.
Those red lights. I thought you said you don't remember seeing them.
I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden.
Ha! Things break, Trite. Even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? Looks like you still can't prove it.
Maya is telling the truth this time, I know it. Well, actually, there's one piece of information that she just let loose. Dahlia fought back, and the blood does not match the victim. So whose blood could this possibly be? One person. Why do I say one person when it could have easily been Misty or it could have been Maya? Here's the thing about how blood works. Sometimes if the DNA is accurate, some blood types kind of match. So how the hell do I put this? No, that probably doesn't make sense. No, never mind. I was going to go off on a tangent here. My theory was that since it doesn't match Misty's blood, then it couldn't match Maya's. That was the theory that I was going to go with, but anyway, fuck it, we're just going to have that anyway. With the detail that she just brought up, Dahlia fought back, and this blood might belong to Godot. The rest is up to me. Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness. Light shining in the dark. I don't think you can make a mistake about that.
Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. And I can't tell you for sure they were from Mr. Godot's mask either.
I don't get the feeling she's covering for him anymore, but... no. I know what to do here. There's no reason to press harder right now. Maya's life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she can remember the details of the scene perfectly. Alright then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red lights? That blood. Was it Dahlia Hawthorne's blood?
I think so. Probably. Just at that moment. I heard a soft scream that seemed to be close by. It was a woman's voice.
So that was when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with the murder weapon. Is that right? Without a doubt, Maya was in the middle of a really dangerous situation.
Anyway, the victim was stabbed by the murder weapon. What happened after that?
Struck back? How do you know that?
Well, you're right. I didn't see it exactly. But I could tell by the sounds of their breathing and movement. And also the smell of blood.
You have witnessed more horror than any young lady should have ever have to in one life. Speaking from experience, for her own mental safety, I would say that she needed to go see therapy. For a very long time. So then, what did you do at that point?
I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do.
Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier?
Yes. I think so. But...
They went out.
Yes. Suddenly I couldn't see them at all.
What could it mean? If the red lights were coming from Godot's mask, and they went out right at the middle of the fight,
Maybe the mask was damaged?
or maybe it was knocked off.
Or maybe the batteries ran out, right, Trite?
Or maybe those little red pinhead-looking lights just stopped working. What could have really happened then? What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out?
Yes, that's right.
The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice.
What? So then, that scream came from the killer? That's got to be it.
I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it.
And the killer let out a scream of pain, huh?
After that, the killer stole the blades back and delivered the final blow. I guess.
No.
Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me.
It sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder. There's a contradiction. It's the dagger that did it. I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction.
That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct.
Remember the Oh my god, Judge, really? Whatever. Remember the testimony she just gave. Before the killer let out a scream, Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim.
Is that right?
She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff.
If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Trite.
There's only one thing I can think of. That could have been used as a weapon here.
If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer?
This. Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime. Oh, that's right, I forgot about that. This dagger was found at the crime scene stuck into a pine tree.
Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me.
Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this. And she managed to wound him as well.
Objection! Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim.
Objection! No! It's already been proven. Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must have been the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body.
So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer?
Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it would prove that it's your blood.
Nice theory, Trite.
You're not denying it.
Order! Order in the court!
Is this the end? Have I done it? I don't think so. Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test. Well, to be fair, I don't know. Maybe?
Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that?
What?
Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom.
Godot, listen, buddy. We've proven this a couple of times already. You couldn't even see the blood.
Yes, what does that prove?
Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it.
It can't be!
In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Trite. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance!
What?
And
In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. All right, then, witness. Continue your testimony. No!
Wait a minute!
What's the problem?
I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation.
Maya!
This dagger, you said that it wounded the killer.
That's right.
But, if Mr. Godot had really been caught with the dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right?
Maya? Maybe he just changed his clothes? That'd solve the contradiction pretty easily.
What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder? Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there.
That's right. But let's go back to what Maya said earlier. The red lights seemingly went out, which gives me the idea that potentially he might have been slashed across the face. Potentially, which would cause the visor to fall off. Maybe.
And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple,
Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes.
Order in the court. What the witness says is true.
Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him.
But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes?
Did the judge take smart pills during the last recess? Maybe. Okay, can I have some? I'm very dumb. I need smart pills. Well, then maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on him. That's why Dahlia's...
Oh my gosh, she's naked!
Objection!
That's impossible, Trite. You know how cold it gets up there late at night.
Ugh.
After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid. So that's all you've got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here... she would have closed the book on this case already. If Mia Fey were here...
So come on, Trite! Can you do it or not?
How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being the killer. But can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence?
The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is I have to prove it. That's the only chance I have. He's hiding the wound underneath his mask. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you want it! Wait. Yes, it's playing the theme! I have missed this song for so fucking long! Oh god, this brings a tear to my eye, holy crap.
Ha! That's good. A fighter to the bitter end, Trite. Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the unlimited penalty?
Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need.
Give me a break! You've got nothing, Trite!
So, what do I do at a time like this? Oh, it's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle.
All right then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you've got.
There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger.
But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been bloodstain on his clothing.
I need you to understand, I fucking miss this song so goddamn much and it feels so good. There's one place One place the killer could have hidden his wound. What did you say?
Hidden?
This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there were no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound.
It's the end of the line! The final stop, Trite! Let's hear what you've got! Where's this location where you say the killer hid his wound?
Take that! Your mask!
Ha! I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was! Isn't that right, Trite?
Oh, that looked so good.
What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. You're living on through him?
Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. It's beneath your mask! During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right. Your mask went flying off your face! Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved!
Just now, I saw her spirit in you. I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought.
Mr. Godot.
But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was me.
You... yourself?
I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me, and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit.
But you saved Maya!
Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway.
What do you mean?
Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away.
Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick?
But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother, but I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason.
No? Why?
I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all.
Huh?
I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous.
Holy shit, man.
Forgive me.
You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya.
Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure.
What do you mean by that?
That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette, a part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there right in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming.
Revenge.
I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? And now, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion. A fantasy. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people. In that one moment, I understood everything.
Mr. Godot.
I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando.
Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me.
Oh.
Thanks.
Your wound. It's bleeding!
Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears.
Tears?
Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment.
Mr. Armando.
You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
Jesus.
This time, it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant,
Yes, Your Honor?
although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body and the crime scene is a serious offense in itself.
I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk, and I willingly cooperated anyway.
Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you. Apologize? To me for what? For the case 5 years ago, of course. That was your sister. That was not you.
I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover?
Well, not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. she was going to do it. She was planning to kill me.
It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other.
Huh? What do you mean?
You and my sister. You only met twice.
Huh? Wait! Whoa! What? Wait a minute! Wait! Wait a minute! Was Phoenix dating Iris? So, wait, was that mean that their relationship was genuine? Oh! We only met twice?
The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed.
Wait, no, wait, it can't, wait, so wait, we were dating? I mean, during our whole relationship,
For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister.
Huh? It wasn't Dahlia?
I hope one day you can forgive me, Feeny.
Yeah. Holy shit! You mean...
That's right. I lied to you. For 8 months.
But why would you do such a thing?
Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation and their surveillance, she couldn't move about freely.
So that's why you...
My sister. From the beginning, she was prepared for the worst.
Prepared for the worst?
She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice.
You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you?
She already had so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance.
And that's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place.
But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened.
That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you.
I think she must have noticed.
That you'd fallen in love with him? Noticed what?
My feelings for you. If I had found out that she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life. Or mine. Iris. After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed.
I have something to say to you, too.
Yes?
You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you.
Thank you.
God damn.
How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had.
This? Never mind. Fuck it. This is the best case I've ever gone through. This is just the best. There's nothing can top this. God damn.
Don't you think so, Phoenix Wright.
You finally called me my name! Oh my god, yes. Yeah, I think you're right. The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim, Elise Dunham. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case.
I understand, Your Honor.
Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty! Court is now adjourned. And no fanfare this time. I'm pretty sure it would have been poor taste if they brought in the fanfare. Whew. February 10th, 4:51 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1.
So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended, was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand. Of course justice was served.
Mia! Mia!
I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant.
But I couldn't save Mr. Armando! The man who cared so deeply for you!
You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible.
You mean, with that verdict?
I think one day you'll understand, too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me.
Mia!
You've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you.
Mia.
I'm sure we'll meet again someday, Phoenix.
I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. And along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer. Maya!
Nick,
Maya.
I guess it's just like my sis said.
Mia? What did she say?
That night when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end.
But...
Oh, come on! Cut it out, that gloomy face!
I missed listening to her theme too, goddammit.
Can't you see? Me, Sis, and I'm sure Iris, too. We owe you for everything you've done for us, Nick.
Maya. How? How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered. Ouch! Francisca! What the hell are you doing? Fucking hell. Hi, how you doing?
Still as softy as always, Phoenix Wright.
Excellent work, Wright.
Huh? Mr. Edgeworth? When did you get back?
Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping you.
Helping you?
If these two hadn't been here on the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
Wow. But where were you, Nick?
I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold which forced him to sleep all day.
Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head.
Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too. Francisca.
I don't suppose... Larry! There's room for me in this group hug, is there?
Oh, Larry!
What's with the, longer than usual face?
I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone. Not even once.
Dude! Believe it or not, you actually were helpful. Your painting helped solve something, dude! Seriously. I'm dead serious. You actually helped out, man.
That's not true. Right, Nick?
What? You're asking me?
Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world, right?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course.
I knew it. It wouldn't be better off if I were gone for good.
No. Oh yeah! Those portraits you painted, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? Me?
Why are you making that face, huh, Edgy?
Well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that they lack resemblance.
Do you really mean it? What about you, Francie? Did I draw you well too?
My beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon. Nevertheless, I've recognized the effort you put into it, and that's worth something.
So then you'll do it, like you promised? You're going to model for my next picture book, Francie's Whippity Whip Tricks.
Don't get carried away.
Well, how about that? Guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Huh?
Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around.
Pearls? Where could she have gone? Normally she would have made a beeline for Maya.
Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right back.
Where is she? Hey, Pearlie! Oh, that was her yelling.
Right? You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you are wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened.
Yeah. To be honest, I can't understand it either. Francisca, she's a... That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well.
I think I understand how she feels. Maya is a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can.
What do you mean by, now is exactly the time? Because there's somebody that she has to be there to support. Somebody very important that we can't live without.
Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya is trying her best not to cry. Someone who is hurt more deeply than Maya?
Edgeworth, I think I'm starting to understand too.
Ow! Then tell me, Phoenix Wright, who is Maya Fey being strong for?
There's only one person.
Take that!
Pearl Fey. Yeah. The poor kid. After all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Fey clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya. They're more than cousins, they're basically sisters at this point.
But it's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Fey's mother was killed, and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable.
And that's exactly why Maya is putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake. Until she can see her smile again.
Holy shit! Hell, hey, so this is where y'all were.
Where the fuck were you?
Well, looks like we've got quite the bunch here today. What was that for, sir?
Oh, sorry about that, Scruffy. My whip just seems to have a mind of its own. To be fair, it's kind of like a sort of reflex action. I see you, I whip you. Actually, come to think of it, I tend to do that to everybody that I come across. Maybe that's why they give me dirty looks every time I come in. What's up, Detective Gumshoe?
Oh, you know, listen there. Anyway, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight. Pal, dinner's on me.
Really?
My salary's just sort of kind of gone down by a teeny-weeny bit, but it's all right. I made reservations at a first-class French restaurant tonight. Ah!
Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward.
Detective Gumshoe? You said a first-class French restaurant. You don't...
No, we're not going there.
Don't!
Trade me in. Where else?
I knew it. We're doomed!
Oh, come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep Maggie waiting, pal.
You got Maggie?
Hey, you, Crybaby, you're invited too.
Oh, nah, forget about me. Pearl and I will be at the loser's shack eating potatoes. You know, Maya's taken an awfully long time to get back. She's still looking for pearls. Why don't we go look for her together? There. Oh, Maya. What's wrong?
Nick, what do I do? Really, I can't find her anywhere.
Huh? Where is she?
Oh, I'll bet she just went back home. That's all.
I thought so too, so I called the village. But no one has heard from her. This has never happened before.
As I figured, she's been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya.
But none of this was her fault. What should I do?
Detective Gumshoe,
Yeah, what is it, pal?
could you guys go on ahead?
But what about you?
Maya and I will join you guys once we find pearls.
Nick?
Ah, don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah, but you're the... Ah!
Very well, Phoenix Wright. We'll go on ahead.
Don't keep us waiting, right? We won't.
But where should we look? Where could Pearlie have gone?
Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that pearls might have gone to. The agency? Here! Oh, that makes sense.
Hazakura Temple?
For pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started. What's this? You're all back again so soon? Hey, Bikini.
Sister Bikini?
Well, I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight.
So she's here? Pearlie is here?
Oh, she's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her?
Okay.
Ah, so this is where it is gonna happen?
Nope. Pearlie's not here.
Ah, Maya, the hanging scroll. She cleaned it.
Someone cleaned it off.
It's gotta be pearls.
Ah! Mystic Maya! Pearlie? Why did you just leave like that? Mystic Maya? Mystic Maya!
Group hug? Okay.
I swore that I would never trouble the two of you ever again. Because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother.
That's why you came here?
It's the least I could do. To pray for your happiness. You don't have to do that, Pearlie. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course I'm sad that my mother is gone. But how do I say this? I'm still happy. You don't have to lie just to make me feel better.
No.
Really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here is all thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I can really do. Mystic Maya.
I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty.
Sister Bikini.
Your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night.
After dishonoring the good name of Korane, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true. She'll always be with me until the day I die.
Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets.
She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh?
There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die.
That's the Master's talisman!
The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the contents. That's... Is it a photo?
A photo? Mother?
It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question. Oh my god! Oh, my heart. Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother too. I learned that from all of them. Well, shall we get going? Everyone is waiting. This is a day to remember. A day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today.
But I still can't...
Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going to make a brand new start too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training. I promise.
Oh, I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for three for when you come back.
Alright, we're going to have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance.
Okay, Mystic Maya. I'll eat lots and lots of food though tonight. Fuck.
Wait, did you just say fuck? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make Pearl say fuck. I'm sorry. Oops.
Holy crap, that was our first curse word.
You know there's one thing I don't get, and probably don't want to, but...
What is it, Nick?
Reservations for training is fine, but why for 3?
Oh, come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us.
Huh? Well, I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you. Huh? Huh?
It'll be great, Nick. We're going to do the special course naturally.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick, you'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right?
We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time. Right, Nick?
You know, I was wondering if I can say just one little thing.
Sure, of course you can.
Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it.
Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps too. Do it! Well then, here goes nothing. Fuck yeah! Oh, God. Damn it, that felt so good. Oh.
I really have to work extra hard now. Master of Corinne and the officer manager of Ryan Co. Law Offices. And I have to be a good big sister to Pearly and Nick, too. Well, as long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that.
It's been 3 games. How many times has this happened to you? Good lord, girl. Woo!
So it's true Mr. Nick really is Mystic Maya's knight in shining armor. He went through with a special course all the way to the end. Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra special ultra course here too. I think I'll surprise the 2 of them by making them a secret reservation.
Oh my god, Pearl. So wait, it's canon that he was able to get through the training? Good job, Phoenix, good job. Hey! Maggie bought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. I feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off.
Yes, but somehow you just don't seem the same. I guess a dirty, shabby old overcoat is just more detective-like, sir.
Oh, don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly.
Please don't do that. That's all I'm asking. Please don't soil yourself. Mr. Wright, I'm once again in your debt. Thanks to you, the Treasures of Corinne exhibit was a great success. I even got to see Miss Von Karma, who I hadn't seen for almost a year. She taught me how to use a whip and said that I must show you what I've learned.
Please, don't whip me. Andrews, please, don't fucking whip me. I'm begging you, man. Please don't.
Desi and I started a company called Mask Damas Consulting.
We're dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city.
Our motto is, cut it out, please!
Pretty cute, huh?
Well, we also sell plans to the criminals as a kind of side business. I wonder if that's okay. Sometimes I think that maybe we're the worst criminals.
Fucking hell, dude. I love. Oh!
I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don Tigre. So I lent him 500k and a tea set. A special thick tea, one I mixed with my own 2 hands. I bet he's drinking it now. Win through compromise.
Thanks, Viola. I can trust you, right? I can trust you, right? I'm just nodding in the way. That wrinkly, grumpy clown nose wasted flesh. Yeah, at least that's what I thought. But my grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Oh, talk about embarrassing. 69 years old and I cried like a baby with a dirty diaper. Oh my god, that is so sweet. Oh god.
As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We've hired a new programmer to replace Glenn Elg. I do hope everyone will get along. His name is Adamada. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly.
Adam Mata. I see what you did there! It's literally just Glenn Elg again! You got somebody with the same palindrome name!
My, more reporters! Well, since the murder, we've made so much money, I hardly know what to do. I think the magazines like us provide such a nice visual, especially in game. I can hardly wait for Iris to come back.
Oh, yeah. Although I wonder what her punishment is for... I'm wondering. Holy crap, I need a break. Oh!
You've turned into such a respectable man, Feeny. It was so sweet of you and everyone else to come and visit me here the other day. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me, but I felt kind of bad when the little one slapped you so hard you got a nosebleed.
Oh, God. Phoenix Wright, Ben Groman Judd. His objection. That's so good. Objection! Edgeworth! Miles Edgeworth. Sean King. Next.
Objection!
Mia! Christina Catano. Uh-oh. Oops. I fucking love that. Seriously.
Objection!
Godot! James C. Wilson. I think I recognize that name. Don't fucking freak the cop at me. Jeanette Sue.
Objection!
David Crislip. Whew.
What's this? I'm back from a long and tiring vacation and no one is here to greet me? I guess while I was gone, little whippersnapper buddy quit and now I've got no one. And what kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway?
Hi, old bag.
What are all the flashing lights and switches? I feel like some sort of space alien. And now what am I gonna do with all these macadamia nuts I brought back for everyone? If I'm putting the attention point, I know exactly what to see these for. I really can't accept these, I'm afraid. I'm sorry I'm so painful. Oh, hot when I find a gentleman who treat me like a fair lady.
Thanks. Good seeing you again, old bag. Fucking hell. Jesus.
I finally found something I'd love to do. Franz's whippity whip trip is gonna turn the art world on its head. But I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist. A really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all.
You are not a loser, but you may be a loser, but you got art skills, my man. And I want to see you improve on it. Oh. Oh my god.
I don't think my heart can handle this. Ah!
Well, everybody, that officially was not only the end of Trials and Tribulations, but the end of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy. You know what? I'll say it right there. That final trial, it tops literally okay, I realize there's another trilogy. I think it's called the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles or something like that. But there's also the Edgeworth games, and there's also the other games that I can't record. I mean, I can't play 3DS, so I'm gonna have to actually
Resort to an emulator about that one.
and emulate those. Because 3DS capture cards don't exist anymore. So emulation is the only way to go. But right now, this trilogy right here, the best case hands down was probably that one. That was possibly one of the best fucking finales. And I want to say that Trials and Tribulations, it seems like it was by far one of the best Phoenix Wright experiences I've ever had, because almost every single case was building to something. And it all culminated in this final case. And I'll say this right now. Two of the other cases, two very specific ones, where you're playing through the perspective of Mia. Possibly one of the coolest fucking shifts in perspective I've gotten to experience. Playing through the role of Phoenix Wright's mentor. And then it throws an even bigger hardball at me, getting to play as Edgeworth as a defense attorney. It's like every good thing that the games have been building up to culminated in this, and it was smacking you with the heaviest amount of fan service. And the connections that it had with the previous cases, the previous fucking games! I'm sorry I'm getting a little loud, I can't help but yell about how fucking much I love this! How the fuck did I miss out on this? I'm happy I finally got to experience it, but god damn! I've been missing out on a treasure trove of fantastic stories. Well, now I can finally experience them, even if I have to emulate them. I don't care. I want more of this. Holy shit. That was amazing. I think I've already stated everything that I felt about this. Going into Ace Attorney, this is probably one of the best decisions I've ever made for the channel. I fucking love Ace Attorney. All of the characters, all of the relationships, all of this. So good! Holy crap! I'm at a loss for words, if you can't fucking tell. It just wrapped all well, so god, everything just wrapped together so well. Oh. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Everybody that joined me on this, thank you. Every last one of you are the real MVPs. You guys all made this as enjoyable as it was because of your interactions, all of your feedback and everything. You made this what it is. Potentially one of my most favorite game series that I've ever gotten into. Even if I ended up tearing out my throat at it, it's arguably one of the coolest and greatest experiences that I've gotten to have on this. So with that, thank you. Just, that's all I can say, just thank you.